Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again, and with another Master Grade Gundam figure review. And this time I'm going to take a look at the Master Gundam from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And I do have the Shining Gundam at least, but I'm showing this one off first simply because I was doing this in order of how I got them, and he came in the mail before Shining Gundam did. So, of course, I'm going to take a look at him first. So here we have the Master Gundam in its mobile suit form, like nothing really all that much different. Go ahead and take a look at the head real quick. I do like the head. I like the weird earpieces coming off. It just looks awesome. And the weird fang-like designs coming off of the mouthpiece underneath the eyes looks pretty cool too, if you could actually get a good look at it. It was hard to line because the lines kept coming off, but it's there. Nice green eyes under that cowl on top of his head. The chest plate does kind of open up a little bit. Just a little bit though, nothing too spectacular to show for an opening cockpit, but this doesn't have like a regular cockpit. It has something called a mobile trace system, where it's a big tray that the pilot stands on, and it allows the Gundam to copy the pilot's every moves. So, and now G Gundam, with their master grades, the only 4 that ever got released, do have quite possibly the first ever ones to have incorporated a full inner frame. And this was back in 2000, 2001, so that kind of stuff it took quite a long time before they finally just started putting them in all of them. But articulation wise, he does have a ball joint at the top of the head, as well as a hinge at the base of the neck to allow for forward and backward rocking movement. The shoulders are on this peg that sticks out quite a ways. You can move the shoulder armor up out of the way and kind of see the peg there, which does allow for 360-degree bend, as well as another hinge there to let the arm go out a little ways, and not too spectacular though, as well as a swivel at the top of the bicep, or at the bicep, and also the shoulder can move out quite a ways. Elbow is a double jointed elbow, and there's with the age of this kit and the fact that there's so much parts that have to keep together and keep balance, because martial arts being the theme for the series, right there's a little screw holding the elbow together, and there's screws holding the knees and ankles and the center of the torso together. So, yeah, just forewarning, if you're planning on getting this kit, you're going to need to bust out a tiny Phillips head screwdriver. So, anyways, back with the articulation, there is a rotation at the base of the elbow, at the forearm, kind of like a forearm swivel, but it's just because of the way it's all pegged together. And the hand is on a ball joint. And there's no joints in this hand. It's just a fixed hand. It does come with swappable hands, which we will discuss when we get to the accessories. Now the torso, there is a ball joint at the base of the torso, with a pretty good range of movement in it. I do believe that's it, as much as I can remember. The hips, they're just a it's just a stem with a ball sticking on it, so not so much spectacular stuff going on with that hip. But there is a swivel, or there isn't a thigh swivel even, so it's just that ball joint. But the skirt armor does get out of the way, and these parts here are actually attached with rubber pieces. So they do flex a little ways. Knee is double jointed. Do get a pretty good range of movement in there. The ankle is on a single ball joint. No rocking mechanism in there at all, just the ball joint. And this little spike on the front of his foot can rotate forward for some reason or another. And the toe has some decent articulation in it. As well as the backpack having some posability in it as well. These bits here are on a hinge so they can rotate out. And then these guys here are on little hinges too. And it can also move out a little ways. So if you kind of want him splaying his wings open a little bit like he's getting ready to do a massive attack, you can do that. But the connection on the backpack is not very tight, as you just witnessed. At least on mine. So now, the biggest downside that I do have with the Master Gundam is if you've watched Mobile Fighter G Gundam, he's able to take the wings on his backpack and fold them around his torso and use it as a giant cloak. And that looks awesome. However, you cannot incorporate that into this kit, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But even though he's missing that little bit of detail in this kit, it's still a great kit. And accessories wise now, whoa! Well, actually, real quick, if I can get him, since balance, his backpack's also a little back heavy too, so he's got sometimes a difficult time balancing, if you haven't noticed already. But yeah. Real quick size comparison wise, here we can stand him up next to the original RX-78-2, and you can see without the spikes on his head, he does stand a little bit shorter. He's like 16 meters tall, like all the 90s Gundams were, and he's the traditional 18 meters. So now, time for the accessory wise. He does come with quite an interesting amount of accessories. To start off, I was going to go ahead and show this off outside of the hand that it comes in, but if I didn't just ruin the peg. Nope, I didn't. But we do get a beam cloth, which is a pretty interesting piece of armament. It's just a clear red plastic piece, nothing all special to it, and it does come with a special hand to grip the beam cloth, where you just take the hand apart and then fit the cloth in the open space in between the hands, and then put the cover on the back of his hand. And so now he's got his beam cloth extended out, and I can go ahead and just plug that in like so, and have him posed like he's actually using it as a weapon. So ha! But it only comes with a right hand to grip onto the beam cloth, which, for those of you who might consider Master Asia to be a left-handed person, you're kind of out of luck, because... oh, come on. The wings on his back want to weigh him back, and it's just a little annoying. There we go. So, yep, he can snap his cloth at his enemy, whatever he would like, and go ahead and swap that off for the regular hand now. Alright. And so the next little piece of accessory that I want to look over is also an interesting feature that he has for armaments, is that there's piston, or his arms can extend forward, so that way he can have a little extra jab at his opponents with a little bit less effort. So he's got that option for attacks, which we also do have swappable hands for that, which replace the relaxed splayed open hand with the karate chop kind of stabby jabby kind of hand, which can go into the wrist oh so easily. And it comes with ones for each side, so he can go ahead and do that. And then also comes with two of these little elbow replacement pieces with a copper wire extending them out. So if you were to take Master Gundam's arm apart, hang on, and just easily pop that elbow joint out, you can replace it with one of these elbow joints. Oh. Try not to take the wire out of the piece while you're doing it, at least. And you can greatly extend his reach like that. Which, with this attached on, since it is a copper wire, you could have it bend any way you would like, so that way it's not always a straight on attack if he wants to go and attack at his enemies at a different angle. Alright, and now, come on. Oh, this is always a pain to get taken apart. Usually I just end up taking apart the entire arm and then putting the elbow back together and make sure it's actually together in the right way. Oh, come on. I honestly don't know which way this is actually supposed to go. Good enough. I have his manual down here with me, so I can't quite look that over and see what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I'm knocking the camera forward, that's for sure. Alright. So, there is weapons for him. And now he does come with a couple extra hands. He does come with these two hands, which are some of his martial arts pose hands. And you could also use these to properly display him with his arms crossed, which is how I usually have him posed in my display. Which I'm actually going to replace one of these with the regular relaxed hand. We can get him ready to perform his finishing attack, which we do get plenty of these attachments too. We do get darkness finger hands, one for each hand, one for each wrist, And so, just like all the other hands, just pop off the ball joint. And attach the new one on. So now he is ready to perform his final attack, the Darkness Finger. Which, if you've watched G Gundam, this was not Master Asia's first Gundam. This was actually kind of concealed away in the Kowloon Gundam. So, I just want to know, had he ever had to break out that Darkness Finger in the Kowloon Gundam? And if so, he's instantly coming off as a bad guy. But yeah, that is a cool thing that you can do, is have that Darkness Finger attached. And whoa! Yeah, back heavy as all go. But he also does come with 2 final accessories for him. We do get a Darkness Finger or glowing right hand for him, not necessarily the Darkness Finger, but then we also do get a similar one. This one is specifically for the G Gundam, or the God Gundam, but all it does is you just connect them together and you can do their the signature pose for the School of the Undefeated of the East, where they've got their hands together. So that's it for accessory wise. And also, being the fact that this kit actually does not come with a 1:100 scale figure of the pilot. Instead, we get one of these rubber statues of a 1:20 inch scale of Master Asia, which actually does come in 3 parts. The base is actually on a separate piece, so you can, if you want, come on, detach it, but it's not going to want to go, so I'm just going to leave it be. But he does have that, and then the ponytail actually is on a ball joint, so just 3 parts that make up Master Asia. And all the sculpting is there for very good detailing. It's just, I have not gotten into painting this guy yet. I want to. The only one of these that I actually have started painting is the Shiro Amada that came with my Easy 8. So, here's my review of the Master Gundam. A very, very nice Gundam, as it is. I loved the G Gundam series. That's by far my favorite Gundam series. And the fact that they actually did come out with master grades of the protagonist and the antagonist, at least, just makes it all so much better. Now, like I said, I do have the Shining Gundam, so it's just I needed to get him reviewed first because he came first. I got him first. I actually didn't get Shining Gundam until like 2 more master grades after. So there's like 1 or 2, no, there's 1 master grade between him and Shining Gundam, and that is my Wing Gundam Proto Zero. So that will be the next video review, so you guys can look forward to that. If you guys like G Gundam, I do highly suggest picking this up. For as old as it is, this is one of my favorite kits for G Gundam, at least. Well, aside from Shining Gundam, but there was a lot of work that I had to get put into him in order for him to be good. So right out of the box, all I gotta say is right out of the box, if you want something that's gonna be fun to build and just looks nice to just stare at, I would highly recommend this. This is a fun build for its age, and considering that it's got mostly dark colors, there's not much to do for panel lining. Because if you were to panel line some of those darker areas, they won't show up. You can see I've done some panel lining, especially on the red and on the purples, but aside from that, the dark gray panel lining would not show up very well in there unless you actually paint it with a black paint. But aside from that, it's very nice. I do like this kit. I do really want... I would really recommend this kit to anybody who likes G Gundam, especially if they want to get master grades of at least all the leads lead characters, lead protagonists, antagonists, what have you. Now, there is sadly only 4 kits that were released for G Gundam, that being one of my favorite series. It gets the least amount of kits. We do have the Shining, the Master, the God, and the Spiegel. So, unfortunately, that's it. We don't get any of the rest of the Shuffle Alliance. We don't get any of the oddballs that showed up in the series, because there was quite a few. But I do highly recommend this kit, as, I mean, it did. I do wish that you can do more with the wings, especially the whole splay them apart and then fold them around as a cloak, but once you actually get this guy into action poses, there's not much that you're going to want to do with that cloak if you had it. So, opportunity missed, but it's not a big deal. Anyways, this has been Retro Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review of my Master Grade Master Gundam, and I hope you guys like the rest of my reviews that'll be coming up, and I will see you guys next time with another video review. See ya.